Okay, well, we're going to prepare a poster to advertise a charity fundraising event, Wix Charity Fund Day. I had to kind of scribble on a piece of paper. I'm sorry it hasn't come up very well, but got a heading here, a logo here. I got an idea of setting up a table, putting some pictures in here for all the little events with "please come and support us." And the idea is to turn my paper plan, and I think you should plan something on paper first, and I hope to turn it into something like that. And I'm going to show you how to do that in this video. Before we do that, we're going to think about all the skills that are required to be demonstrated in the controlled assessment to enable you to obtain the marks for doing this type of exercise. I'm going to help you here prepare two draft documents for your controlled assessment, one of which is probably going to be a desktop publishing document. You might have to prepare a poster, you might have to prepare a catalogue, you might prepare a certain type of list. And the other type of document you're going to prepare will be a presentation, a series of slides, or perhaps slides that are going to be used on a website. Either way, you're going to have to demonstrate certain basic and advanced skills to obtain the marks in your ICT controlled assessment. Here you see the skills listed, basic skills, see them here, and underneath advanced skills. In this video I'm going to go through demonstration of a number of the basic skills such as fonts, sizes, formatting techniques such as bold, text alignment. We'll look at something called word art, creating tables, using bullets and numbering, and also inserting images and pictures which you can crop, resize and position. And then we can look at some of the advanced skills in this video. We'll be looking at perhaps putting some borders on tables, making text go into different directions, vertical, and inserting headers or footers. The other skills that are listed on here will come up in other parts of a controlled assessment. Remember that everything you do here has got to be commented upon and annotated, and to support this work you really should look at the revision guide for the controlled assessment which I've given you, and look at the pages in that revision guide, read through the pages, round about pages 15, 16, 17 and 18. Okay, I'm going to use Microsoft Word here, and I'm going to start off by creating a new document, and I'm trying to do this charity fundraising type poster, and we're going to use that as an example to show some of the basic skills. So perhaps one of the first things that we notice here, we've got the option, if you go to design, I can put some borders on here, quite nice to box, put a big box around there. I can also choose a splash of colour, so that'd be quite nice just to choose some different colours here. That looks okay. And I'm going to put some text in here, Wix Charity Fund Day. And I quite like this to be the heading. One way in which to make this heading a bit more interesting, rather than just simply writing in the text, we could use something over here called word art, which is under insert. So word art, and choose a snazzy font, Wix Charity Fundraising Day. So I've also got I've gone on the internet, done some research, and I've selected some images which I've saved in a folder to advertise events that are going to happen on this day, and I can insert these into the document. So we can do insert, picture, and the first thing would be useful to have the logo. There it is. We'll resize the logo and try and position it more carefully. Well, it's a bit tricky at the moment, but I'll find a way of doing that. click on this image here, and I click on here, give me layout options, and I quite like this to go in front of the text, which I think will allow me to move it around. So I'm going to put it up in the top corner there. To make it more interesting, I've used word art, but I can click on the actual heading here and I can rotate it, so we can make it a bit more interesting to look at. And put that there. And then what I'm going to do is create a table, which might be useful. Insert a table, and this is going to have table. That should be about enough. And then into here I'm going to insert some text. You can see I've added words into the table now, and we can insert some images. So kids bouncy castle, insert picture, and pop the bouncy castle in there, and so on. And I'll do that to the other cells in this table. Okay, you can see I've added the pictures into the table now. I've also added some basic text here, and we just need to do some formatting now. We've shown you some word art. It'd be quite nice to make all these headings in bold. So I do highlight control B. Go back to home. I'm sure we can alter the font to a more interesting font. We'll just slide down here, see if something grabs our attention. Yeah, I'll try that. And again, we've got some very uninteresting text here, which we could make a bit more interesting, I think, by just altering some of the fonts here. And again, we'll make that a bit bigger, so we change the size of the font. And we're also going to look at the alignment. I'd like to center that. Please come and support us. And start fitting. Put an enter there at the field. Gate open, and you've got information about the cost of the tickets. And then there are the information. Maybe make some of these a little bit smaller so I can get it all in. That kids face painting one can go up over there, I think. And we'll make the face painting smaller. And I think we've got it onto one page now. I'm just going to highlight all the boxes, and I'm going to try and center everything so it all looks, the alignment looks good. And perhaps the only one that's a bit strange is that one there. So now I've inserted images, I've done some word art, I've altered fonts, I've used a table. You could easily put bullets in here and numbering. I've done bold and then text alignment, fonts and sizes. Those are all the basic skills. One of the advanced skills is a table border, so I'll try and improve the table border here. I'll click on the table and table properties, and got borders and shading, and I'll go for a more interesting border. That looks quite interesting. And I'd like the border to be boxed around the whole of the table, not around each cell. And okay that. So now I've got a more interesting border. And that's about it really. This is your first draft. The idea would be that you would show this now to a group of your friends, and once you've got some comments back from them, you can improve it and produce a second draft. Do read the revision guide carefully. Do tick off all the skills that are available to you on the marking scheme. You can use a word processor, or you can use a desktop publishing package. Ask your teacher about the desktop publishing package if you'd like to use that. Make sure you save and print out the first draft of any documents that you've created, and I strongly recommend that you then get a good pen and a ruler and you draw arrows with comments showing every place where you've used a basic or advanced skill that's on the marking scheme. So arrow, I have selected interesting fonts, I have text aligned using center or left alignment, I have inserted an image, I had to resize or crop this image, I have created a table border, I have used word art to create an interesting heading here, I have rotated the text here, and so on. Every time you put those annotations, it makes it much easier for the examiner to give you credit for demonstrating the necessary ICT skills.